In this video, we will be covering color matching inside of the DFE. Double-click, open up your document, and you want to verify that your artwork does in fact have spot colors inside the file. You can do so with the design software that was used to design the PDF artwork, or you can also verify by looking for this icon inside the full job editor. Double-click the Swatches icon, and you will see a list of the different colors used inside of this document. Select the color that you would like to edit. You can make adjustments in one of two ways. You can drag the sliders for cyan, magenta, and yellow, black here, or if you would prefer for a more granular control, click on this grid printer icon, and you'll be greeted with this interface. Here you see a grid of colors varying from cyan and lowering the cyan values as it increases on the board. And you'll also see magenta, lower values and increasing in value as you move to the right. So within this grid, you can see on the far right, these magenta values are all 100%. As we go down, you'll see that these are all lowered to 76%. Likewise for cyan, you can see that these are all 100% cyan, and as you move up, the row at the top is 86%. The numbers here vary. You can go from 0.5% difference between each spot on up to 10% difference between each spot in the grid. We'll go ahead and reset back to 5. You can also choose which colors you're adjusting in this color matching. By clicking on either of these bars and then clicking on the droplets, you can change the color that you're adjusting or making accommodations for. The same can be here and along the bottom. We will leave cyan and magenta as our two colors. Starting off, the central located dot in the middle is our home color. That's the original color that was included inside the file. From there, we would click on any of these dots to make adjustments to the color. So, if we would like to reduce the amount of cyan, in other words, moving up the bar, and reduce the amount of magenta, moving back on the bar, we would go this direction from 100 cyan and 90 magenta to 90 cyan and 80 magenta. And you can see after several clicks, this value changes. With each click, the center value always changes, and again, is always the value that you're working with as you're making adjustments. You can either start immediately by printing this grid, by choosing this icon, or make some changes to these numerical values by clicking on the dots. And once you believe that you have it, you can then again use this icon to click. Before doing so though, you'll notice this icon here. As we go through these, you'll see that there's envelopes of different orientations as well as sheets of paper. This is going to determine the grid size and location on the substrate that you're using. Our recommendation is that you print it on a sheet of paper so that you can see the entirety of the grid, but you can also use it on envelopes if that's what you're color matching on as well. From here, we'll go ahead and click print and jump over and look at the grid in real life. All right, now that we've printed our grid, let's go ahead and take a look here. You can see that it's printed on two different envelopes. This row and this row are one and the same. As you recall on the screen, it was a 5x5 grid. So we'll go ahead and place this. At this point, we can go ahead and take this grid and look at it and either compare it against a real life example that we've got pre-printed, and we can actually fold this over and then compare it to the colors and see what modifications we may need to make. Or you can always take it and compare it to a couple different Pantone books that you might have as well, coated or uncoated. Our paper's not coated, so we would look at the uncoated in this case. And then from here, we would just go ahead and make note of any adjustments that we might need to, and then we could jump back into the computer and make those adjustments. So let's go do that now. Once we've made a determination of what color we may need to make adjustments on, we come back into the screen here, make further changes, whatever they might be, press print once again. We'll hold that grid up against a sample that we have in real life, make a determination that we do in fact have the color that we're trying to achieve. Then we'll come back here to the interface, click on the check mark, and our adjustments now have been saved. As you can see, the color here is different from the original color that's still located here. From here, if we want, we can save this by clicking on the plus button and giving it a name. By saving this, we can eventually use this in other pieces that have the same Pantone. So if you're doing envelopes in one time, letterhead, business cards, napkins, what have you, you can use the same color in additional pieces of artwork later on. If at any point you want to redo or start from the beginning again and reset your colors, simply click on this to reset our colors, and we are now back at the original values within the original file. And that is an overview of color matching inside the DFE.